All right, hello, welcome traders. It is a Monday, November 19th, 2024. Been a few days since I've been on. Been busy, just had a lot of things going on and a little traveling around with my family on some things that we want to get done and see. So all great stuff back in it this week. Good stuff happening today. Markets had an interesting day. You had some threats from Putin based upon Biden giving Ukraine the approval, start launching rockets into Russia. I don't want to be political, but idiotic stuff going on there. Can't blame Putin for getting upset with that. But that seems to have calmed down a bit, and the markets rolled their way higher. So futures tending a little bit lower based upon some of that, and then really shrugging it off and moving higher. We also saw a bounce in bonds a little bit today. Don't know if that's going to be sustained, but we seem to be finding some support here around the 115 mark. Is it going to stay there on ZB? We'll see. But we'll get into that. We'll take a look at that, and I will cover some new trades and new trade ideas that I have. So we have a bunch of trade ideas. I'm going to grab these and go with them with you guys. We're going to give you some trade ideas today, so stick with us. I think you'll like some of these trade opportunities. I'll show you what trades I'm putting on right now, and we'll talk a little bit about the portfolios as well. So first thing I want to get into is let's share. And we started off the day today with a nice zero DTE trade. And I don't do a ton of them because I find it hard to just carve out the time to sit there and monitor and work through zero DTE trades. However, we did put one on today. So here we are. I'm going to actually move this over. Uh, Here, get rid of that. But if we take a look over here, yesterday, okay, or really the previous low on SPX, dating back here to Friday, we hit this, 58.53-ish level. So this 58.53 level in here. So let's fast forward to today. So on the open today, we gapped down early on. Again, some negative news. Futures were down. We gapped down first 15 minutes, drifted a little bit lower, but each time we sold off, we we rallied back up. So the bears couldn't hold it here. Second 15 minutes up until 9:45, or from 9:45 to about 10. Again, same type of a thing. Pretty good hammer looking candle here at lows. Came almost down, touched that previous support, which is why I wanted to put that on there. We'll take it off now. Then I got in here right around, what was it, 10:08 for me, because we started to move higher. Nice reversal looking candle here. We started to move higher here. I got in right around 10:08. So partially through this candle, things looked pretty decent. And then we were just off to the races. So it ended up being a really good trade opportunity. Why did I take this trade? Again, looking at the candles, bulls couldn't, or bears couldn't sell this thing down harder. Bulls kept rallying it back. Nice reversal camera off this candle, off the hammer that we saw in here. But we also came down, okay, and broke and touched into this 3 ATR level, broke below the 3 ATR, and then came back up. I thought this would be a pretty good reversal point. One thing I want to add on here, which I don't have, but I did use them this morning. So maybe um, let's take a quick look at the Bollinger Bands. So I don't care about the middle. And I'm going to make these gray, a little thicker. Okay, so I'm going to add the Bollinger Bands on here. In fact, let's save this grid as well. So just so we have them on here. All right, so you can see now it's kind of hard to see. I know we got a white line here and then this thicker gray line, but this gray line was the Bollinger Band, the lower Bollinger Band. We had broken through that pretty substantially here this morning, so I thought a bounce would be into work. So breaking below the Bollinger Band, if you're looking down in here, you can see the stochastic momentum hitting a low and starting to reverse, starting to reverse its way higher. MACD starting to move its way higher. I probably jumped a gun just fractionally in here. Either way would have been good, probably to wait just a tad for the full reversals. But this is the 15 minute. If we move over to the shorter term, in fact, I only want to look at a small piece of the day. All right, so here was the gap down early on. You can see that we hit this low and just started to reverse, but we were also outside, this 3 ATR band. We're at the bottom of this Bollinger Band in here. And then right around here where this red arrow is, so I put these red arrows in just so you could see. This red arrow was the candle for me that I got in on, right? Things started, MACD had been reversing, was moving its way higher, okay, and about to break the zero line. Okay. Stochastic momentum was moving its way higher, but was only halfway through the move at the time. I had some more upside. We were oversold on RSI, and it was drifting higher. Squeeze momentum had reversed itself. Okay, all of those things I think just gave me an opportunity to put on a put credit spread. And here's the trade from today. So just so you get a sense of what we do, I got in at 10:08, and I went. I always do about 30 wide. So I did the 57.95, 57.65 put credit spread for 55 cents. And I got out of that about 20 minutes later, 20, 21 minutes later. And I did it for a little bit more than 50% on here. So we made 30 points on 55, 30 cents on 55 cents times 18 contracts. So 1,800 shares at that 30 cents. So a nice little win for us today. So I like that. We'll go back and take a look at a few other things here. So there you go, little zero DTE action. So what I'm looking for, are we oversold, starting to look for a bounce, playing a put credit spread? I'm out of the money on those about 30 wide, and I look for my 50%, and then I'm out. And today, 20 minutes or so was good just to get out of those. All right, so let's keep moving on what's going on here today. Again, we started the day lower, gap down, moved higher on the futures. We ended the day higher. Nice reversal, a nice hold here on the daily, holding this 21 EMA. We managed to hold that, not only Thursday and Friday, and then bounce on it today. Pretty nice hammer candle finishing well off of our lows. However, still some weakness on the shorter term here. MACD is falling. RSI is hanging in there okay, and the stochastic momentum is starting to roll over. So we are losing a little bit of our momentum here, but I do like this ascending wedge pattern that we have right now. We're watching this support level, which we've managed to hold on to pretty decently. But today we did trigger a bearish PSAR signal that would make me, again, a little bit more cautious on the short term. The long term, I'm pretty good with it here. Squeeze is firing to the upside, but I think we're just running out of a little bit of steam. I think we can still do well into the year end. We're just running out a bit of steam, but I like the pullback here on ES. We did not enter any ES trades anyway, so right now I didn't see anything on ES that makes me want to add more ES S&P trades in here. Let's take a look at oil. So oil has been the interesting one all week. This thing has been really just holding on to this 66.8%, 66.8 level. Here we have bounced off it once, twice, three, four times now. So it keeps getting attacked. It is a descending triangle. If we break to the downside, would not surprise me necessarily, but I don't know how far we break to the downside. On the daily chart, you got MACD starting to reverse here. Big move on Friday, big bullish engulfing candle, great bullish signal. Moved up today, hit the 21 EMA, hit the 13 as well. Oversold on stochastic momentum, starting to reverse its way up. You can see the squeeze is reversing its momentum, and it's still in a squeeze. So we're getting ready for potentially a little bit of a pop on oil, and then MACD is moving higher. So even though downtrend, but I think we're just holding the support well, and the daily chart looks pretty doggone decent. for it. The weekly chart still looks a little bit bearish. We have a bearish PSAR signal that was triggered today for this week. So we're overall bearish in trend and a little bit of bottoming bullish action. So what does that say for us? To me, it says strangle opportunity. So we did put a strangle on in oil yesterday. We got uh, good volatility on it. So a strangle in oil because A, the downtrend continues, but B, there's some support here. I think the yin and yang of these gives us a chance to um, put on that strangle and just let it fight its way out. All right. So let's keep moving and let's get into bonds. Let's go right to the 30-year here. We continue to be in this trading range. That's anywhere from about 118 to about 115 and a half-ish, somewhere in there. So we've been in this range now for what, 4 weeks and change. So a little over 4 weeks in this trading range. So I think it's a good basing out. Doesn't mean, that bonds can't go down more. The bond vigilantes have been out. They've been pushing things down. I don't mind bonds here. If we're looking at the weekly chart, yeah, stochastic momentum is just grinding to the absolute bottom of this chart. So indicating that we are pretty oversold. Doesn't mean we can't stay there, but we're pretty oversold here. We've had squeeze firing to the downside. We've got MACD, which was firing to the downside, which reversed a little bit this week. But overall, obviously, it's been a bearish trend. But on the daily chart, we've really seen, MACD improving a bit. The RSI has been hanging in there and improving. Squeeze has been, reversing, moving its way higher. And we're holding this. You can see in the gray here again, the Bollinger Band. We just keep holding this Bollinger Band, which is sitting here about 115 and change. That this level has been pretty good. So I do like it overall. It's good for our bond trades. We did exit one of our bond trades, but we still have multiple bond naked puts on. We also have calls against most of those. So while we're waiting for our naked puts to, generate and recover a little bit here, we are cranking out income on the call side, and I like that. But bonds did finish off their highs of the day, but 2-day up day, which is something we haven't seen for a week or so here. And for a 3-day up day, you got to go all the way back to over a month ago, where we had 3 up days in a row, and then previous to that, and you're all the way back to September 6th to see 3 bond up days in a row. So any buying seems to be met with a little bit of selling, but I just like the basing out here on bonds. So if we're looking at bonds, I'm not really trading anything new, but I will be probably putting on some more either put credit spreads or selling puts on bonds in this area. All right, gold. Gold, nice bounce off of this support level that we had here. So previous resistance level turned into support. The weekly looks weak. Okay, so we look weak on the weekly, came all the way down to the 21 EMA, and bang, we held right on it as well as this support. I like the level here. And then if you look on this daily, it's a little more clear. Bullish PSAR reversal today, held this support level, held the Bollinger Band in the 3 ATR, bounced its way higher. You can see a bit of reversing on the MACD, the stochastic momentum, RSI, all moving higher on these last 2 days. I like gold here. I think gold sets itself up well for a put credit spread. So there's trade number 2. So strangle in oil, number 1, put credit spread, or even naked puts potentially in gold. Copper, very similar type of a story. You can also take this and draw it over, and we can pull out a support level in here. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, so it's not easy to see, but definitely a support level on copper in here. We've held that support. We've also held this longer term trend line that dates back all the way to October of last year. We've bounced on it now once, twice, 3 times. We've bounced off. So very valid trend line, a valid support level here. okay, which is also the Bollinger Band, the 3 ATR. I like where copper is here on the daily chart. You're seeing reversal on MACD. You're seeing stochastic momentum moving higher. Weekly chart still looks a little bit weak, and it still has the bearish PSAR. But I do like where copper is, so I think copper is also a put credit spread. Now, I pointed it out to folks in our Discord yesterday that copper was on the radar, but I wanted to see the bounce continuation today, which we did get. So I do like what we're seeing in copper here. So now it is officially I think, a good put credit spread trade here. So I like it on the shorter term. I don't love the longer term chart as much. I do like the shorter term for a swing trade here. I think we could put on a shorter term put credit spread. Silver is going to be something very, very, very similar. We've got a bounce off of support. In here, we've got reversing on all of the technicals on the daily, even though the weekly is still a bit weak overall. But weekly is holding the 21 EMA, and we're holding the support level bouncing higher. So I do like silver as well. I think you can go any of these metals, gold, copper, silver, all good trade opportunities here. I'd be looking for trades on them. All right, the Aussie dollar. I think the US dollar um, starting to stall out a tad on its rise, although it was up again today. We'll take a look at the US dollar here, but that's really been pushing Forex lower and having a pretty good effect on pretty much everything from gold to Forex here. But we are pretty oversold on the Aussie dollar, getting a nice 3-day bounce. So it's a 3-day rally up in here. We don't get many of those. Got to go back quite a ways um, into 2 months ago for the last 3-day rally. So overall, I like it here. I think the Aussie dollar is also a good put credit spread opportunity. I did point this out to members yesterday in the Discord, and I wanted to wait one more day, see if we got follow through, which we did today. I like it here. I think it's a good opportunity to go long. It is not a strangle opportunity, in my opinion, yet. You could strangle it. I'd like to see a little more strength in basing. Before we move on to anything else, let's take a quick look at the US dollar. US dollar's had 3 days of really pulling back. Now, it's up technically today by 4 cents, but really 3 days of just downward action as we hit this support level. So we're looking at the weekly chart, I'm sorry, resistance level. You can see we've got some resistance here that we established back last year in the October and November time frames, previous highs. We hit it almost exactly last week, and then since then, and that's also when uh, you know we've been riding up this 3 ATR, but we really broke through the 3 ATR pretty strongly, and the Bollinger Band came back inside. There we can see MACD rolling over, RSI overbought and rolling over, and RSI is divergent on this. Again, does the dollar care about technicals? I don't know, but looking at this gives me a little sense of maybe the dollar's calming itself down just a fraction. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but I think 107 is a pretty good resistance level, and I'd love to see more consolidation here, which would be beneficial to everything else that we do. All right, and then I want to skip just to RTY. We did put a trade on in RTY today, which is the Russell futures. So we did trade the Russell futures today. Looking at the weekly chart here, it's been in a nice, a pretty nice uptrend as we move forward. We've had a good pullback after strong pullback last week to this support level. And you can see it a little bit better on the daily chart. Resistance, resistance. Now it's flipped to support level, so it's a flipped resistance to support. Held on to it Thursday, bounced Friday, held the 21-day EMA here, and now today follow through. Okay, I said again yesterday in the Discord, let's wait until today to get the follow through. We got the follow through today. I like the candle finishing well off the lows of the session. We put on a put credit spread. I showed you my trades from today earlier, but I went out about 31 days short term, really more of a swing trade. We picked the 2150, 2100, which is down here where the 3 ATR and the Bollinger Band and almost a 20 to 200 day moving average is. So let's see if we can hold this support level. Let's see if we can, hold the 50-day moving average higher, and even the Bollinger Bands, the 21 and the 3 ATR. So lots of support opportunities. The internal technicals, not perfect. We are seeing momentum coming out of this name. Okay, but it's been on a pretty good sell-off for a week, and now it's just trying to regain some footing in here. Won't be surprising to see if we can make another run here on RTY. All right, so there's where we are on all of the futures in the Income Navigator trading account. Let's just take a quick look at what we do in our investing account as well. And then let's talk about the trades that I put on in that account today, and we did add a new trade there. In fact, let's just go right to that trade now. And I was looking at a trade in TNA. Again, looking at that Russell, looking at the bounce off of this support level. This orange line, this goes back quite a ways. You can see this on the monthly chart. This goes back all the way into almost the entire year of 2021. This was resistance. Okay. Now we're right, we hit it in July, couldn't break it, got close in October, and now we finally broke through, at least temporarily. So at least a look above and a little bit of a fail, but we're still above, but we're right at this resistance area here. I like the reversal today that we got. We pulled down, reversed higher, back above it. We're back above the 21 and right to the 13. So not fantastic on the underlying fundamentals here, but on the weekly chart, I think we're still in pretty decent shape. Overall, we can look at this, pull it in here, but you can see this trend line here, and really a bit of a ascending triangle that we broke out of big time 2 weeks ago after the election, pulled back pretty good last week, but only retraced about half of that candle. And now we moved higher with a pretty nice reversal looking candle. So I do like IWM. So what did I do in the investing account, which is, again, a little bit different than the trading account? So in the lazy trader and the investing account, we actually went out 178 days. So I like the leaps. To me are about 6 months to a year or more. If you don't like to call it leaps, then it's fine. It's a naked put. But I went out about 178 days, and we sold the 195s. So for me on IWM, I think fair value is down in that 200 range, but 200 is a pretty good, in my opinion, support level. If you're looking at the daily chart here, we've got to break through the 50, the 3 ATR, the Bollinger Band, and we also have to break the 200-day moving average on IWM just to get to the 195s. If you look at the weekly chart, you still have to break the 21-day moving average. You have to break the 50-day moving average. You have to break the Bollinger Band and the 21 and the 200-day moving average on the weekly as well. So there's a lot of work to be done to drop. I would be happy owning this thing at 195. So that's what we sold, 195. If you see the trade, in fact, I'll share the exact trade with you. Here's the trade itself. Again, we went out to May, 178 days out. We took in $291 in credit on this particular trade. Now, that $291 in credit on this trade used about $4,700. The PM account used about $4,700 in cash. So we're taking in 30% on this trade. Okay, and I am okay with assignment. So I'm okay with assignment on this trade, just like I am on the Google trade from yesterday, or from the last trading session. So I get my days mixed up. Today is Tuesday. I'm sorry. I think I said Monday early on. But yesterday we did also put a Google trade on in here. So good stuff overall. I like where we are And this account, we were very close to new all-time highs, but we put a Google trade on yesterday. That trade in Google is now up 15% in one day since yesterday. And what did we do? We sold the 140 put. So let's take a look at Google. I like where Google is. So doing some work, coming up with what I felt the intrinsic value or the value of Google is. It's not, it's not above here. Okay, so this thing is not, it's not far away. So I feel there's good value in Google. It's not as overdone as many of the others. I let members know today in the Discord when I was doing a little bit of calculating on it that I felt that Google's probably around 190 a share or so. And we're below that. So we're actually below what I feel is the value of Google itself. So I believe it's at 190 a share. Okay. We're sitting here at 179. So I think Google is one of the undervalued companies. It's not at these new all-time highs. It doesn't look something like this on Nvidia. It certainly doesn't look something like this on Tesla, and it doesn't look something absolutely crazy and bananas like this on Palantir, which is way, way, way overvalued. Okay. In fact, this might be a good call credit spread opportunity. See if we can pull back down into the 50s. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad company. I think it's just overvalued right now. Google, to me, gives us the best value, and it was a nice bounce here off of the 21-day moving average yesterday. That's why we entered. And then today, really got a nice pop on it here as well. And if we're looking at the weekly chart, a very nice weekly chart, stair stepping its way higher, higher lows, higher highs, and we may be on the road to another higher high here. Everything is lined up on the weekly. So we went out 178 days on Google as well. I sold the 140. Now, I could have gone a little higher since I do feel the value of Google's higher, but why not go down here a bit? So you can see 140 would put us below the 21, the 50, the Bollinger Bands, right at the bottom of the 3 ATR. And if I look at the daily chart, it puts us below pretty much every major level in here. It would take us all the way down to this previous pivot low, a little bit below this pivot low from September here. I think that was a great opportunity. So if we come down at all in there, I'm more than happy to take assignment. I would love to own this thing, but I'd also love to just make a lot of money on the naked put. So I love selling naked puts, favorite strategy. 112 trades, favorite strategy. Again, the whole 112 trade is just selling a naked put. And I'm also adding a put debit spread to give me some extra cash flow if we happen to pull back at all on it. So I love selling naked puts. In the investment account, most of these naked puts I'm selling, I'm okay with assignment. I might be okay with assignment too on some of the futures in the trading account, but I'm okay with assignment on some of these. Okay, I only trade what I feel is high quality stocks. I only have 4 stocks in the entire portfolio right now. That is Google, that is MicroStrategy, which is my favorite Bitcoin play. It's Nvidia and it's Chipotle. Those are the only 4 stocks. Chipotle is a little bit of a shorter term play. It's about a 67-day put credit, or I'm sorry, strangle on that. That strangle is now up in 8 days. We are up 23%. In fact, we can cover that with you here too, just so you get a sense of what everything looks like in here. So Chipotle is good. Google looking good. MicroStrategy, we've got 2 trades looking good, and Nvidia looking really good here. And we're way down at 95. I'd like to potentially even put something on before earnings. If we drop, I'm okay with assignment in Nvidia. It would have to drop significantly, and if we rock it, then we can take the quick profit. So I might still tomorrow drop something in Nvidia here. If we're looking at this, we've got earnings after the bell tomorrow, but the IV rank on this thing at 44 is giving us a pretty good potential opportunity. I think it could be higher, but that's all well and good. The only things we're down in this account right now is a little TLT, which is fine. We've got leap puts in here. We've got four leap puts. Only two of them are slightly in the money, just fractionally. The other two are not in the money. And then we also have naked calls on against all 40 contracts of the naked puts right now, as we just let bonds kind of meander around that support level. So why we let theta work here, I'm going to let theta work on the call side. So we're going to generate maybe another 1,500 bucks in cash or so on our TLT. TMF, we just keep writing covered calls against it. We're up 70% on these. So while we wait for TMF to recover, that's working out. BOO, we're looking for potentially assignment if need be, but that's our play. We got our SPY leaps. We've also got some SPY leap put credit spreads, a little experiment that we're doing here to uh, see how these function, a new strategy that we're formulating on here. So there's where we are on all of that. But give you a bunch of trade opportunities today. So you can see where we are. Everything's going well, like where we are, having a good week. So far this week, had a good week last week. And we've cleaned up some things in the account. We've got nice trades heading higher. Two big up days today in both the trading account and the Lazy Trader investing account. And fantastic looking stuff in the main account. We'll do a quick share and then I'm going to jump off with you guys. So here's the main trading account. We've got oil. Right now we're sitting on a 112 in oil. That thing's up 102%. Okay, we've also got a put credit spread in oil. That thing's already up 38% in 18 days. We also have a strangle that we just put on yesterday. This strangle's up fractionally in one day. ES here, these are all hedges for the most part, and to put credit spreads in here. However, we do have a one trade, legacy trade that's sitting here where it's 73% on the naked puts. We'll wait for that to come off. We've also got a 100 the naked put of a 112 calendar that we've got. This thing is sitting, it's only been on for 12 days, and that's up a little bit right now. Then we've also got brand new naked put from a new 112 yesterday that we put on. The rest of these are little bits and pieces of some hedges that we have. And then down here is a naked put out at 112 days. Nothing exciting there. These are all put debit spreads and some vol hedges that are working. Nothing there. We're slowly getting our calendarized 112 hedges or PDSs into place. And then I'm sitting down here so close to 90% on a naked put from a 112, calendarized 112. This should come off anytime now. So I'm excited for that. We'll close this out at a nice almost $5,000 winner. Most likely, here's that new RTY that we put on today. It's already up 8%. Bonds were in good shape. Here we've got naked puts, we've got naked calls going, we've got a lot of different things. We have call credit spreads, a little bit of everything on here, but overall, not a bad day in bonds. And then TLT, we've got leap calls. They're down a bit now. Here 1,500, but we've also got 300 bucks here that we're going to be closing. We got an order in to close these, so we'll close them hopefully around 90% here. Maybe I'll close them tomorrow. But that's where we are. Overall, good stuff. Great day today. Things look good. We're excited where we are. Lots of trade opportunities. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.